So let's talk about number one, use a debit, never use a debit card. So a few people in my comments were like, why should I use a debit card, or why should I, do anything, any of these? I want you to put never in front of each of these statements. Just put never in front of each of these statements, first of all, okay? Because I know a lot of people were confused about this list, but you should never use a debit card, okay? Let's get to 3,000 likes. You should never use a debit card, all right? And let me explain, okay? Let me explain this point. Here's why you should never use a debit card. So number one, your debit card has no benefits. You're not going to benefit at all by using your debit card, all right? But your debit card does not give you the same benefits as a credit card would, okay? Let me explain to you some of the benefits that you would get using a credit card versus a debit card, and then I'll explain a little bit more, right, based on, your situation. But let's talk about this first. Number one, okay, the credit card. Okay, the credit card is something that is hands-off money management. What I mean by that is you can use the credit card to pay for your everyday monthly expenses, and you can set it on auto pay so that it pays those expenses every single month for you, right, by your payment date. Okay, so it's hands off. So that means you do not have to manually manage your money. You do not have to manually manage your money, okay? That's number one. Number two is you do not have to worry about multiple due dates. So how many of us in the comments have a bill due on the 2nd, a bill due on the 5th, a bill due on the 18th, a bill due on the 20th, a bill due on the 30th, right? How many of us have multiple due dates in the comments? Yes or no? That's going to be completely eliminated when you use a credit card. That's going to be completely eliminated when you use a credit card, because you only have to really worry about 2 days, right? And really 1 day, and that's the statement date. All right, but that's a whole nother live. So that's number two. Number three is you're going to be able to get cash back and rewards for spending money on things that you would normally get. Okay, you get cash back and rewards for spending money on things that you would normally spend your money on anyway. The fourth benefit is you're going to be able to build your credit. So what do I mean by that? So by using your credit card and paying your card off every single month, so paying it off by the statement date, okay, here's two things that's going to happen. Number one, you're going to have good payment history. That's number one. Number two is you're going to have a low credit utilization rate. All right, so let's get to two. Never save all your money at the bank. So the banks, you deposit money into the bank takes 90% of your money and they loan it out or invest it. Okay, they make a lot of money on your money, and then they give you 0.01% on your money. Now the bank is not a bad place. Right? It's good to have your emergency fund at the bank, right? So that you can have access to that money in case of emergencies that happen. But you should also invest your money so that you can get some of the same returns that the banks are making on your money. So it's okay to have 6 to 12 months of expenses at the bank. But after that, I always like to invest. So after you get to the point where you have a fully funded emergency fund, I get to the point where I just like to invest everything else. Step 3, never show off how much money you have. All right, this is just this is just me. Okay, this is personal preference. I myself, right, I'm not big on showing how much I have or how much I have saved, how much I have invested, how much money I make. I'm not big on that. Okay, I believe more inside the person, right? The person that you are. Money is really nothing. Money is just a tool. Okay, money is not the like, what am I trying to say? Money is not the solution, right? It's just the tool. Okay, it doesn't prove anything. Money just shows you more of who you are. So if you're showing off your money, to me that just gives off like you never had nothing. Like, this is the only money that you got. You don't have an abundance mindset. Like, you got to show everybody what you got going on just to validate yourself. So you shouldn't be showing off, even if you got it like that, right? You ain't got to show off, right? You can still live life. You can do the things that you want, but it's, you know, the people that hold the money to their ear and always flexing and putting watches in your face and doing all this and all that type of stuff, right? Those I don't like those people a little bit. Step 4, spend more than you make. So this is like a fundamental principle of money. Basically, money is simple, y'all. Money is really, really, really simple. We talked about this earlier, but basically, if you only do, and I hope y'all listening, if you only do this, you will be good. You'll be qualified as good with your money. If you only do this, you will be qualified as good with your money. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for the secret? I hope y'all listening. If you do this one thing, and it has to do with step 4, if you do this one thing, you will be good with your money. If you simply save and invest 20% of your income, you will be qualified as good with your money. If you save 20% of your income, that means you will be qualified as being good with your money. Okay? Did y'all hear me? So that means if you make $1,000, if you're able to just save and invest 200, okay, you will be good. If you can save and invest 200, 20%, you will be good. Okay, and you can save. So here's the whole, like, I talk about the whole system inside my coaching group, right? But basically, what you want to have is 6 to 12 months of expenses saved up, right? You try to get that as fast as possible, as quickly as you can, and then you take the rest of that and invest it into, starting with the stock market. That's where I always start, because that's the easiest, that's the simplest. Okay, that's the most affordable that most people can get into right off the rip. Okay, that's where you should be saving and investing. Because I want y'all to write this down so that it sticks in your head, because maybe this could be something that totally transforms your entire life, right? That helps you start winning with money long term. That helps you become financially free. That helps you start investing and building wealth inside your Roth IRA or your investment account. Okay, I want y'all to get this down. If you only do 20%, yes, and then do whatever with the other 80. Live your life with the other 80. Spend it however you want to. But if you're able to do 20%, you are going to be good. All right, so let's get to 6. So 6 is never use a credit card for emergencies. Never use a credit card for emergencies. And here's why I put this. Here's the context behind this. Your credit card should never be used for emergencies, because what that's doing, okay, in my opinion, I can't tell you what to do, but obviously, in my opinion, right, using your credit card as an emergency creates bad habits. Because usually in an emergency, that means you do not have the money to pay for whatever you have to pay for, right? Using your credit card as an emergency, okay, can be helpful in like last resort situations. But as far as using it for every emergency that comes up, every little thing, right? That's creating bad habits. That's putting you in debt. That's putting money on the card that you do not have. Okay, and it's important that we only spend on this card what our expenses are every single month. And you're really creating the like the perspective that credit cards are bad. Credit cards are our last resort. Credit cards is if something bad pops up, I use a credit card. But when in reality, credit cards are really good for you and can benefit you a lot more than using your debit card. Now, so let's move on. Let's move on to 7 and 8. Never be a cosigner, okay? How many of us have ever been in a position where we co-signed on somebody's stuff and they didn't follow through, and we was left with the loan or whatever the heck that we co-signed for? Okay, so I'm not really gonna go too deep into that. Don't be a cosigner. Don't put your name on somebody else's loan. Okay, that's gonna leave you with that problem. That's number 1. Number 8, buy cars brand new. Unless you can buy that car 10 times, in my opinion, you shouldn't be buying the car outright. Like, you shouldn't be buying or financing the car, a brand new car. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, let's just say your car note is $500 a month. Let's just say your car note is $500 per month. What I got here is what $500 per month would turn into in 30 years right here and 40 years right here. Okay, that's what $500 a month could turn into. Now, obviously, you probably need a car, right? You need a car to get to work. You need a car to get to whatever, right? What if you could do 300 per month? So let's say instead of buying a brand new car at $500 per month, you can afford $300 per month on a car note. Okay, that saves you $200. So that means you're going to be paying $300 per month, or I mean $200 per month. Okay, and look what that turns into in 30 years, and then look what it turns into just 10 years later. Okay, how would someone pay $500 a month for a car? People are doing it. People are doing it. All right. So I want you to understand this, because this is the power of understanding. If I buy new, right, I'm basically wasting my money. The value of the car is going to go down immediately as it drives off the lot. So that $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 car that you're going to get is going to be worth $50,000, $40,000, $20,000 in 5 years, probably less. Okay, but if you take that extra $200 per month and get a used car or lease, okay, take that extra $200 a month, invest it over the long run, over 30 to 40 years, it can turn into this in 30 and this into 40. You need to get to the point where you are investing your money or putting your money to work for you, or creating income streams that could pay for that brand new car. Then you can justify that. Then you can justify that, in my opinion, though. But do what you want to do. I'm just trying to coach you. I'm just giving you the information to help you make decisions, better financial decisions, so that you can be better in the long run. That's my goal. So number 10 is let people borrow money from you. So this is almost like number 7. Number 10, let people borrow money from you. So how many of us ever let people borrow money from us, or gave people money to borrow, expecting it to get back, and we never got it back? How many of us have lost friends over that situation? It's just bad on both sides. Like you trying to be a good friend, but what happens is the friend feel like since they didn't pay you, or they didn't get around to paying you, that they can't just come around again and all that type of stuff, and it just creates distance between you two. And I hate it. Like I absolutely hate it. You know what I mean? But that's why you have to give without the expectation of receiving, right? If you're gonna lend, if you're gonna help a friend out, help a friend out. Don't even expect it back, because that type of stuff ruins relationships. I believe that you should never buy your first home as a place to live. You should never buy your first home as a place to live. I believe that, okay? Who else agrees with that in the comments? Put agree if you agree. Put disagree if you say disagree. Because this is just a conversation, y'all. I want y'all to think too. Right? This is not necessarily do everything Coach Vince says. Do everything Vince says. Nah. Okay? Think for yourself, but take the information. Be open to the information. Right? So that you can make better decisions. So here's my stance. Here's why I say your first home should never be your first home should never, right? Be a place to live. Like simply. Here's why. Here's what I believe. As I mentioned before, or let me start by saying this: your home is a liability. That's number 1. That's your home is a liability. Here's why: because you're going to be paying for that home for 30 plus years, plus the maintenance, okay, plus all other taxes and fees, all that type of stuff every single year. It's a liability. That's money coming out of your pocket. An asset is money that is something that brings you money, that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out. So for 30 plus years, your home is taking money out of your pockets. Okay? Instead, you should buy and first buy investment property. Let the investment property or the duplex or the triplex, okay, fund, right, your home or your mortgage, or pay for your mortgage. That's what I believe. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Instead of your home being a liability, turn it into a true asset. Okay, that's paid for by somebody else, first of all, that you don't have to put your working income into. You can use your passive income to fund your dream home to live in for the rest of your life. Okay? Yes, rent hacking, house hacking, all that stuff. That's a good example. So 11 is keep your emergency fund and savings. Keep your emergency fund and savings. I'm gonna ask this question: how many of you has your emergency fund in your bank account, like your regular bank account? Let me ask that. Just yes or no. Here's the thing about the emergency fund, because it's actually two parts to it. Okay, the first part is your immediate fund. Okay, that's your immediate fund should definitely be in your savings. Okay, well, at least that's how I do it, and it's how I teach inside my coaching group. Your immediate fund should definitely be in your savings. That's what you want to have immediate access to for minor emergencies. All right, for minor emergencies. Then your emergency fund should be in a totally separate savings account outside of your regular savings account at your regular bank. When I say immediate funds, let me go back. When I say immediate funds or immediate fund, that's basically like a baby emergency fund. It's a baby emergency fund that you keep inside your savings. That's for minor emergencies. That's for minor things that pop up, right, that you need money for. You use that $2,000 immediate fund inside your savings account. And then your emergency fund, right, which is 6 to 12 months of your expenses, goes to your high yield savings or a separate savings account. That's going to give you higher yield than what the bank is giving. Banks are giving, bro, like 0.01% right now, 0.02. Okay, high yield accounts giving like 0.5%. Rates are going to go up because they're increasing interest rates right now, but you want to keep it separate. And here's the reason why you want to keep it separate. And the main reason why you want to keep it separate is because you don't want direct access to that money. You don't want the temptation of being able to use that money for whatever situation. Okay, you don't even want a debit card to get access to this money. Okay, that's how I feel. Because if you got access to it, if it's easy access, then you'll be able to use that money for whatever, something besides an emergency, right? And that's not what it's for. It's for emergencies only. Now let's get to 12. Never manually save and invest. Never manually save and invest. This is big on the psychology of money. This one right here, okay? Never manually save and invest. What you want to do with your money is automate it as much as possible. Listen to me when I say this. I have a saying that I say all the time. The less emotions involved with your money, the more money you will have and the better off with money you will be. I'm going to repeat that. The less emotions involved with your money, the more money you will have and the better off with money you will be. When we eliminate emotions from the equation, that gives us a better chance of growing our money and of letting our money do what it's supposed to do, which is create and generate more money. Okay? So when you manually save and invest, what that does is that gives you an excuse whenever something pops up, such as a birthday or holiday or something like that, to say, oh, it's the holidays. Oh, it's my friend's birthday. Oh, such and such. No. Pay yourself first. Automatically invest. Automatically save. Do not let emotions get the best of you and prevent you from reaching your goals quicker. Okay? We got goals that we're trying to achieve in 2022. We have goals that we're trying to reach in 2022. We're trying to become better versions of ourselves in 2022. We're trying to level up financially in 2022. It's not going to happen if we keep letting our emotions get involved with our money. Does that make sense? There was a study done by Fidelity of the accounts that perform the best. And I know for those that are always on my live, I know I talk about this all the time. But there was a study of the accounts that perform the best. The accounts that perform the best on Fidelity were the accounts where people were dead, people that wasn't even alive. Their accounts performed the absolute best because they were not around to let emotions get involved. Okay, they automatically saved and invested for themselves, thus having the best performing accounts on the platform. So what is that? What in the comments? What does that tell you in the comments? What should you do with your money? Bad 13 says never stop contributing to your Roth IRA. 13 says never stop contributing to your Roth IRA. So what does this mean? Okay, this goes into the last point. This goes into the last point. We never want to stop adding money to our Roth IRA. Okay, experts over countless years of research and study and development and looking at investing and understanding investment accounts and how people invest and how people become wealthy and how people become millionaires. Okay, it all points to one strategy. Okay, the people who do this strategy consistently become millionaires and have more money than they thought they ever would. And you probably know it, but it's dollar cost averaging. So dollar cost averaging, for those that don't know what dollar cost averaging means, it's a term in investing that basically means that you're gonna invest the same dollar amount every single month or week or year. However you contribute, you're gonna contribute the same amount of money every single week, every single month, every 2 weeks, whatever the case may be, no matter what's happening in the stock market, no matter what's happening with your investment, you're going to continue to invest no matter what on autopilot so that it's automated and you're not manually saving and investing. That's how $50 can be turned into $122. That's how $100 a month can be turned into $659. That's how $200 a month can turn into 1.2 million. That's how $300 a month can turn into 1.9, and so on and so on. Okay, it's called compound interest. But you have to contribute this every single month for this to happen. Number 14 is never go through life without life insurance. Okay, here's why, and here's my belief on it. Okay, you can get whatever one you want. I believe in term, so I'm gonna say that off the jump. I believe in term life insurance. Okay, I believe in term life insurance, but you get whatever you want. Do what's best for you and your family. Everybody's situation is different, but I believe term life insurance is best for most people because it's affordable. You're able to get a lot of coverage for a little bit, and you're able to actually get enough coverage to be able to cover your life. Okay, and all your debt and bills and burial and all that stuff. Okay, that's why I like term. But essentially why you need life insurance, or why you should never go through life without life insurance, is because for this one reason, right? What if you doing all this stuff, right? What if you doing everything that I say? What if you saving your money, right? Saving 6 to 12 months of expenses. So you got a nice little savings, a nice little emergency fund. That's gonna give you freedom. That's gonna give you options. That's gonna give you the ability to do more of the stuff that you want to do whenever you want to do it. Okay? That's number one. What if you're doing all that? What if you're investing, right? What if you have a Roth IRA where you're investing every single month and you're trying to build wealth, right? Before retirement, and you're trying to retire early or something like that. Okay? But listen to this part. What if you doing all this stuff? You're doing everything right, but you don't have life insurance. This is what's going to happen. So if you don't have life insurance, all right, there is not going to be any tax-free money that your family is going to have access to be able to handle all the expenses, replace your income, right? And replace your assets that you're building. None of that is happening. Instead, what they're going to have to do is completely wipe out your emergency fund and then get taxed on your investment account, because it's going to be taken out early before the withdrawal period. And then they're going to have to take the money that you're growing to build wealth and take it out. And now your family no longer is growing wealth, right? Because you're not there, you're not able to continue to build that wealth. Now they just take all your money that you have that's growing wealth for you and your family and use that for all the expenses and to continue just living that lifestyle, to not have to worry about money. That's without life insurance. So the last one is think money is evil. This is just all about your mindset. This is just all about having an abundance mindset. That bird came out of nowhere, right? This is just all about your mindset and what you think about money. How many of us grew up in a household that thought money was evil, or that looked at money negatively? Yes or no in the chat. So what we need to do, right, as a culture, and I'm talking to my black people right now. Of course, I'm for everybody, but my black people right now, as a culture, right, we struggle the hardest with this. What we need to do is just simply unlearn the things that we were taught and open our minds up to relearn some new things. Okay, we have to learn some new habits that's going to help us become generational. That's going to help us build generational wealth and become financially free. Right, by learning these new things and implementing these new things, and then teaching these things to our offspring, to our kids, to the next generation, so that we can continue to build this generation, right, and not just have money for a generation and it be gone. We want to continuously build our assets. We want to continuously build wealth. We want to continuously pass down wealth to our kids. We want our names to last for forever. And the only way that we can do that is if we change our mindset, because that's where it starts, right? That's where it begins. If you have a negative mindset, if you think negatively about money, if money is something that is a limiting belief, if you never thought that you would be able to make $100,000 a year, or never be able to retire, or never become financially free, or never get your money in order, or never get your finances right, okay? That's all a part of your limiting beliefs. We have to unchain ourselves, unleash these thoughts from ourselves and from our minds, and start informing ourselves and getting around people like the people that's inside of our group that want to elevate, that want to better themselves, that want to have money, that want to live the life that they want to, and pass down generational wealth to your family and to the next generation. But we have to teach. We have to teach along with that. Whatever we learn, we have to teach, which is why I created this platform. But remember, believe in yourself, invest in yourself, and most importantly, love yourself. If you want the replay of this, make sure you join our group.